All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Central Arkansas offensive lineman Will Diggins, man. How's it going, bro?
It's going great. Everything is going great right now.
Oh, for sure, man. Man, Central Arkansas, it's got to be great, man. But it's got to be crazy, man. That last year I got one of the top ones, but I got potentially a sleeper from this college, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, absolutely, man. For everybody else, tell me who you are.
I'm Will Diggins. 4 year starter at UCA. Born and raised in South Bend, Indiana, and I just happened to end up in Arkansas and continue my football career. And I was blessed that UCA gave me the opportunity to keep going in that path and that journey. And now it's time to take that next step to go to the next level.
Absolutely. So, what got you into football in the early part, man?
What got me into football? Well, growing up in South Bend, my parents, they made sure to just keep me in all sports. So I really was just going back and forth. I was playing football, basketball, and baseball, like most young kids do. But I just always found a love for football. And honestly, if you know anything about Indiana, Indiana's more of a basketball state. So when I lived there, I didn't think I was going to be playing football. But when I moved down to Arkansas, my dad was like, yeah,
Ooh, reception wise. Something happened. All
there
right.
you go. There you go.
Something happened?
Yeah, yeah, it kicked me out for a second.
It's all
But
good, man. You
yeah,
were talking about your football then.
yeah. My dad, when we moved down here, he moved our family down here and he was just like, football's their sport down here. They play a year round. Just because I was actually going into seventh and eighth grade, I was just like, I really don't want to play anymore. I really don't find fun in it no more. My mom really was like, You've been moving schools. You should just go out there and play and make some friends before school starts. And so I went out there and I'm thinking, everybody's gonna be bigger than me. And I just went out there and dominated and I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna be the sport for me. So then, going into ninth grade, I was just playing straight D line. And one of my coaches was like, Will, you know where you're gonna make your money at. It's gonna be at offensive line. And so just going transitioning into high school, I ended up playing offensive line and that was all she wrote right there.
So, okay, just from experience, just for people to understand the difference between playing defensive line and offensive line, what gives you the advantage when you go against a defensive line since you have that background?
I would say just being able to know like certain moves or certain counters that a defensive lineman could bring out and do, because we had one of the better defensive line coaches in the state. So on like Mondays, I would be with the offense going through walkthroughs. On Tuesdays, I'll be with the defense. And when we do endo, he'd be like, all right, when the offensive lineman does this, I'm telling my guys to do this. So you work on that move, but just have it in the back of your mind that like if you do this in the game, that's probably what most coaches gonna tell the defensive lineman to do. So just having that background and just knowing like different stunt calls, because I mean to in my opinion, some defensive coaches make it very easy for their D linemen, and so they make their stunt calls very easy and noticeable, and that's just worldwide. So just going from hearing the stunt calls at practice in high school to still seeing them running stuff like that in college, it just made it easier to be like, okay, like if I know what they was running back then, like it's still the same thing. It's not really much different terminology.
No, it's not. It's just basically going from a different side of the position, like going from the other
Yeah.
side of the ball. But I mean, I can relate to that a little bit. I mean, the thing that gives you the advantage as an offensive lineman, you know what kind of moves they're going to do. So it's like you kind of have a common sense of what you can block on their counter moves, or you can do
Yeah.
this to them. But it had to be like a simple transition, but a little bit challenging, right?
Yeah, it was simple, but just going from always being like just full speed ahead, going straight ahead to all right, now I got a kick set back and I got to take on this DN or D tackle that's about to be running, trying to run through my face. That was just a different aspect of it. But I mean, I had my fair share of when I was a freshman and sophomore, the older guys, since I, cause I, from day one. after basketball season ended my freshman year, we were straight into spring ball, and my coach was like, "We don't have any other left tackles. You're starting today." And he was like, "You're gonna have to figure it out one way or another. You're not getting out of this. You're either gonna start and you gonna play, or you can tell me right now we can have somebody else play." And so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna take the challenge on." So of course we had guys that they were older than me, stronger than me. So they was just for the first couple of days I was like, I don't want to play offense no more because I was on my back every day. But as I started to grasp the concept of it and just get stronger in myself, I was like, all right, like this is really easy.
It just has to become a natural. Like sometimes playing those positions, you got to have versatility. Like sometimes they might throw
Yeah,
you off a different side. Like you said, they even threw you off guard and had you go play tackle, and that
yeah,
was unexpected. But you had to be ready for it, man. Just like when that coach told me, "Hey, we're gonna need you to play center," and I'm
yeah,
like, and I had to be fully focused and practice during like the pregame warmups. It was like no notice or something. Like they didn't tell me ahead of time. I had to know by less than an hour before game, so that was like something out of it. But yeah, you got to adjust to it and you got to get the hang of it.
yeah.
But so you come out of college, you play guard, right?
Yeah, well, going into college, I played tackle, and
Okay.
it's funny. It's funny that you talked about David Walker, which I guess I can give one of the stories that we
Oh
had.
yeah,
So
David Walker's an
my
interesting.
first one of my first days during fall camp, I'm running with the twos at left tackle because Coach Brown had told me coming out of high school like I was gonna play tackle, and so the first day I'm running with the twos, and they're like, "All right, we got the other freshmen, we got the red shirt freshman out here. We'll let him go against them today." And so I'm out there, I'm beating them. It wasn't really challenging. And so the next day, the D line coach was like, when I got out there, he was like, "Nuh-uh, David, you go." And uh, my coach clapped, and before I could even get up out my stance, he was already past me to the quarterback, and it happened 2 reps in a row like that, and so coach called me into the office. He was like, "We really want you to play here, but we're gonna have to move you inside. David is gonna be
Oh,
some of the DNs that you're gonna see in college, and so we're gonna move you inside and try you out there." So he kinda helped jumpstart my playing at guard, but just being able to go against somebody like that, even if it was for like 2 or 3 reps, it just gives you a sense of like, dang, we go against the best DN that we're ever gonna face in our league, in our conference. And if you can beat him in 1 or 2 reps, there's nobody in the league that should be able to beat you.
yeah. I guess that's kind of like a way that started off your career going from against him because you were saying you were
Yeah.
playing tackle and then David just beat you twice in those reps and they said, you know what, we're gonna have to put you inside.
Yeah.
Like no, I guess he kind of turned out okay. He went into the fourth round, but man,
Yeah.
watching his tape was amazing. Like I was like, damn, who's this guy, bro? And then he was cool enough to like respond back to me and get into an interview, bro. This guy was just like off the chain, but I'm pretty sure it got the best out of you, right?
Yeah, it definitely did. Just being able to see someone like David, come in, he's older than me, but we technically kind of got to UCA at the same time. He was there in the spring. He transferred in. He's in my recruiting class. So when he transferred in and I committed, like they was just like, we got this DN that's gonna be really good. And when we as people from Arkansas, we see in the state like other people from the state, we like, all right, who is this? And so I didn't know who he was at first until the game one, and it just skyrocketed from there. But just being able to see somebody like him go to work every day, push everybody to their fullest potential, is just somebody that like we all can say that we looked up to at one point.
Absolutely. So coming out of high school, so what were the offers like before you went to Central Arkansas?
I actually had several offers. Baylor, Memphis, Arkansas State, Middle Tennessee, just to name a few. I think I had about 12 or 13.
So you
And
were pretty
really,
interested.
yeah, 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 yeah. But um, I mean, it wasn't as bad as it is now with You got your 6th year and 7th year guys still playing, but it was still like, all right, we got the COVID seniors, we got guys that are coming back, and I don't really think it. I think it was kind of frowned upon at that point when I was coming out to like really cut a guy unless like he really did something really demeaning to that or hurt the team. So they were really like, hey, we have this guy that he was supposed to graduate, but because of COVID, he's coming back. But he hasn't taken any snaps in 4 years. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. And so Coach Boykin, actually my offensive line coach at UCA, he was my second offer. And just from the jump, like they were on me. They were always popping up at my school, popping up at my house, having me come up there on visits, and they just made it known like from day one, like, hey, we don't care what nobody else says. You're our number one pick. You're our guy, and we want you to come in here and change the culture. And so I feel like they just building that relationship and then being able to get close with my family and stuff like that. It just helped me even like just say, you know what? Hey, I got these other big offers, but I feel like UCA is a place where I can call home. It's only 40 minutes from my hometown. I might as well just go ahead and make this decision that can change my life.
Absolutely. This kind of reminds me a little bit of The Blind Side, where one of those college coaches or all those recruiters just come to their house and visit. Right? Was that
Yeah.
what it's like with Central Arkansas when they kept doing that?
Yeah, they was like so they was send like the first like after so when I got offered, it don't really snow in Arkansas, but it was snowing. And so after it stopped snowing, they would call me every day. And then it was like, all right, we're gonna start sending guys to the school. And so they would just be like, you just hear over the intercom, like, we need Will Diggins to come down to the field house. He has a visitor. And that was always cool. They would send mail. But then when they started popping up to the house, I was like, oh, I didn't know that's how that worked. And so they just started popping up to the
That's the way
house.
they recruit. They try to
Yeah.
recruit, like if you're the best talent, they're gonna go as deep as possible. That's just their
Yeah, and I didn't know that, and so they would just pop about the house, and it was always good time. They talked with my sister and my mom and my dad, and they just made them feel like they was basically a part of the team
the
as well.
family. Yeah. I mean, if you remember watching The Blind Side, they had Nick Saban and quite a few other college coaches just going to that dude's house.
Yeah,
That's what it seems like. So that's exactly what they do, right?
yeah,
Okay, so from going to Central Arkansas, man, that purple football field, I ain't gonna lie, it looks nice.
yeah.
Like
It
it
definitely
has to be
is.
nice to play on that football field.
Yeah, and it's definitely an advantage. I'm not gonna give away the full advantage because most of my teammates know what the full advantage is, but it's definitely a a great advantage, because in my eyes, like we've had guys that we've been close with from other schools, and they're like, bro, we're trying to watch film on y'all, and if y'all only got one or two home games against quality opponents, we don't even want to watch it because that field messes with our eyes. So
Ooh,
it's definitely got its advantages.
it's
And
got its lucky
I
charm.
feel like yeah, and I feel like just like you said, it gets people to even if you don't watch football, it's just like Boise State. If you see somebody with a different color field, you're gonna be like, dang, I want to go visit that and see how that be.
Yeah, like you said about Boise State, the blue football field. What about
Yeah,
Eastern Washington with that red football field?
yeah.
I
It's-
mean, it's got to be unique. So, like, so what do you take away from your experience at Central Arkansas that you can take to the next level?
Um, just being able to like when I got there, I've always been a humble guy, and even like winning awards my freshman year, like God would just try to hype me up and say, "Oh, you need to do this, do that, do that." Um, on top of that, just being loyal to a program that gave you a chance. I feel like in my eyes, yeah, I probably could have jumped in the portal and went somewhere else, but if I didn't feel like if you guys didn't give me a chance when I came out of high school, why should I bring my talents to your school? I should just go ahead and stay loyal to who gave me that shot to go ahead and get on the field as a freshman. and just develop into the guy that I became.
Okay, so it took you a lot to learn and it developed you into what you are today. So it's prepared you to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. And
So,
just being around guys like David, um, Tamarian Wilson, who actually we went to high school together. And then like guys that would come back like George Odom and Tremont Smith, just hearing their stories come from UCA, it just helped me stay there and stay focused on the goal at hand.
oh yeah, man. I mean, there's some players who come from Central Arkansas, like had good careers. Like George Odom was a good special teamer, a solid contributor safety. He
Yeah,
was on the Niners roster like a couple seasons ago.
yeah.
I mean, speaking of a team, like who do you model yourself after, like watching film and all that? Like who do you emulate the most of?
Um, I would say just watching film, as a guard, I would say someone like Ed Ingram. He, possesses that he's a little bit shorter and he possesses the strength and power that I try to possess on every play. And then somebody else that I would watch, I mean, I watch Trent highlights because that's one of my favorite O linemen.
Trent
But I try
Williams?
to,
Oh,
yeah, but I also, tend to try to find, my coach helped me. He helped us like log in with PFF and they would put the NFL games on. He'd just be like, watch somebody of your same stature. And I feel like, you know, a guy like Shaq Mason who played for the Patriots and the Texans and the Buccaneers, I just feel like that's a guy that kind of emulates my play style. I think I'm a little bit taller than him, but just being that shorter interior guard, just being able to move guys off the line and dominate. And when people say, all right, I don't think you're going to be as good as you are because you're short. Well, that's just somebody that proved everybody wrong right there.
exactly. I mean, size don't matter, but if there's
Yeah.
another player that you might want to emulate most, man, Larry Allen is that guy.
Yeah. And that's
That
who I used
man,
to that's who I used to watch, you know. And when I played Pop Warner as a young kid, they used to be like, all right, everybody find somebody at your position. And if you play both sides, find somebody at both positions. And when I looked him up, like as a young kid, the first time I was like, wow, like this
name
guy
among
is
boys.
moving. Yeah,
Yeah, he just moved. Like even though he was about 6'3" or 325 or something, man,
yeah,
he just looked like a menace, bro. Like he was just like even if he puts your hands on you, it's over. You ain't
yeah,
gonna
it's
win this much
raps. Yeah.
crap for sure, man. So have you met with any other NFL teams or not yet?
Not as of right now, but I'm pretty sure once everything gets picking up and the our pro day comes and the time I hit my times and all that, I feel like all that will fall in the line and start coming.
Oh, for sure. So why should NFL teams draft you?
Watch the NFL teams draft me, you know, first off, I'ma always, come in and work and give 100%. That's something I'm always gonna do. I learned that from as a young kid. Just even if you don't want to come in, like I said, I played just about every sport. And sometimes sports overlap. So I was doing 2 or 3 practices a day. And even if I didn't want to be there, I was there. And it was a blessing for me to be there. So just being able to go in every day and give 100% and give everything I got even if I'm not 100% healthy or I don't feel 100%, I need to be able to go in there every day and give 100%. And just me having that dog on that field, I come off as maybe the quiet guy sometimes. I really don't try to talk too much, but once I get going and get a couple plays in me, I'm always gonna be that dog on that field. I'm always protect my guys and my soon to be brothers for whatever team gives me that shot to be on their field.
Absolutely, man. I love that attitude, man. I mean, you can even play tackle and guard. So have
Yeah.
you played any center or no?
Yeah, I haven't played any in game, but during spring ball, our coach was the guy that would just be like, if you guys actually want a shot at this, y'all need to learn how to play multiple positions. And he
Yep.
would just be like, so during spring ball, Will, I know you play left guard, but you're gonna play right guard and center, just so you can get a feel for it, so that when I get to that role in time, I'm not like, dang. I ain't never played it before, and I don't even really know what I'm doing. So whereas now, even though I haven't played center in game, I've practiced it numerous times at practice, so I know, okay, I can at least snap, step, and block. There may be certain things that I still have to learn. Whereas when it comes to center, but I know that I can go ahead and do simple things that every center should know how to do.
Absolutely, man. Because you got to be ready for the unexpected because they're going to
Yeah,
have you thrown in different places. But where they have you trained at mostly, guard or tackle?
yeah. Right now, so I'm actually training in North Carolina at this place called DSSI Performance, and right now they have me training at guard and center. So I'm just working both left guard and right guard, and then also working in some center here and there.
Oh, that's
I
good,
feel
man.
like I feel like I mean there's certain things that working out at both spots, just being able to play guard can translate out to tackle. And just my experience from playing tackle in high school, I feel like that just takes over. So that's why I'm just really focused on playing guard and center, just because I feel like whatever team gives me that shot, I feel like that's what's going to be my prime position to play.
Absolutely, man. I like that mindset. And plus, they're training you at center. That's going to give you more opportunities, man.
Yeah,
Like, even though you can play tackle also, so that's another plus. I mean,
yeah,
I think versatility is important in today's NFL because what happens if injuries happen? They're going to need to throw in somebody out there.
yeah. And the more spots you can play, the more opportunities you'll have. You never know. You might be a center, and they say, "Hey, we need a right guard to go out there," and now I'm out there playing right guard. So I just, take into account that I have all the tools in my toolbox to play. I just got to go out there and do it.
Oh, absolutely. So, what's the area of your weakness that you need to improve on the next level?
Um, I would say for me, the area that I would need to improve on the most would be finishing every block, because there's some blocks like, okay, I'll finish, but then there's some like I just block my guy and then I'm looking for where the ball is at, and that's something that I've been doing since I was a young kid. So that's just something that I know, just hearing from different scouts and different coaches over the years, that I need to cut out, and just being able to be more dominant and playing lower with more flexibility in the run game. I feel like, just in the pass game, I'm great. Like nobody's getting past me. I got that mindset like this is my guy. I'm gonna protect him with my life. But in the run game, there might be a player or two where I'm like, dang, did I take the wrong step here? I'm kind of second guessing myself. So just being able to be more dominant and trusting myself more in the run game is what I would say.
Okay, so you got to improve more in the run blocking game.
Yeah.
So pass blocking, you're going to protect my quarterback, so nobody touches him. Okay.
Yeah, nobody touches him, and the guys know in practice, like if y'all get back there and it's not even my guy and y'all touch him, like it's going down. And even if he do something and it's totally his fault. Like this year, we had our quarterback. I don't know if you ever seen how Patrick Mahomes, like he'll duck out of bounds sometimes, and then sometimes he'll try to truck somebody at the end. He did that in the game, and then they just laid him out on the sideline the next play. And I was like, "Hey, we ain't about to do that this game. I don't know who y'all think y'all are, but that's my quarterback. That's my guy. I'm gonna make sure that he gonna be on his 2 feet the whole game."
Oh man, I can tell, man. So if I were ever in a bar fight, I would have this guy in my corner right here.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
I mean, that's what offensive line takes pride in. But why
Yeah.
do you feel like offensive line doesn't get enough appreciation, man?
I mean, I just feel like, I feel like the appreciation as an old lineman comes from my aspect, comes from my teammates scoring and just everybody. If I have a teammate like win MVP or player of the game, that makes me look good. Because, for instance, we had our running back this year. I think he ran for like 250 and had 3 touchdowns. That makes the O line look good because we created that path. And I feel like most O line would say the same thing. Like we don't really need the praise. It's good when it's given, but we don't really need the praise because we know at the end of the day we have a job at hand. We're gonna go in there, do the dirty work, and make sure all the other guys are protected and they get the ball because those are who gonna help us win that game. We're doing the dirty work, but the people that's gonna put us over the top and go ahead and put the cherry on top is gonna be the receivers, the running backs, and the quarterback. And that's
Absolutely.
it's our job. It's our job to make sure running backs have clean holes to hit, quarterbacks have all day in the pocket, and for the receivers, just giving the quarterback all day in the pocket makes their job 10 times easier.
Absolutely. Like my old line coach once told me, man, we don't get all the praise and all the appreciation because we do the dirty work. The
Yeah,
dirty work doesn't get noticed, but it's always been linemen lead the way.
yeah,
Like, I mean, playing that position is different than playing defensive line because I've always wanted to stick with defensive line. But there was times where my coaches would say, "Now we're gonna need you to play some O line, man, because you're big and you got those good strong hands. So maybe
yeah,
we might want to use you there." And it's been like that before. But I think it's gonna be a fun journey, bro. So
yeah.
all that process that you went through throughout your college career, man, does that feel surreal or does it feel like business as usual to you?
You know, at the end of the season, it felt surreal. I was like, wow, like I just had a moment like where I just reflected on my whole college career because, seeing guys that come in and just play 4 years, that's unheard of in today's game. Like they just play four back to back to back years. So that's just unheard of in today's game. And on top of that, with the new NIL stuff, seeing somebody play 4 years at the same FCS school, that's also unheard of. So just, I was the youngest guy out there for senior night and just that was surreal. But once everything, kind of the senior night game was over, and I got time to go home with my family and reflect, and we made the decision to where I'm gonna be training at. It just always like, all right, this is business time. This is what I came for. This is what I went to school for. This is what I went to school to do. And so that's when it all became like, all right, I'm ready for this. I was born to do this, and God blessed me to put me in this position.
Absolutely. So we got one more football related question, then we'll go with a little bit outside of the box.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for your opponents and how do you study against your opponents?
So I'll just take you through a week. So like for me on Mondays, I'm really just watching games and just seeing what tendencies I can pick up, like blitz keys and stuff for that manner. Tuesdays, we usually would get our scouting report on the defensive line. So I'll go in behind our coach and just and see what points he put in there. And I would just see if I can still pick up on those same tendencies or even pick up on even more. And just as a team, we as an O line, this year really we took pride in just watching film together, making sure, okay, if I know he gonna do that, you should know that too. So just being able to go through it there. Wednesday, we're just watching. I'm watching personnel, like who I'm going against, what's their go-to moves. Because at the end of the day, if I know, okay, first down, you're gonna come off the ball lazy. Second down, you might fire off. Third down, you feel like that's your down. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, I got you. I know what you're gonna do. Then I just go down the list. So Wednesday, I really just study the interior. Thursday is really just I look at the ends and how they would play counter or how the linebackers play pulls. And then Friday, it's just final touches, just seeing what plays that we ran throughout the season that really worked. That I could be like, okay, coach, when we come to the sideline, all right, this play ain't working. Let's go ahead and try this one again and see if we can pop some yards because they're running a similar type defense. Or just being able to, walk through with the guys before we go through our final walkthroughs and just see like, okay, what can we do? And then Saturday is game day. So
Oh, absolutely. So what kind of scheme do you guys run for the offensive line?
in regards to what, like
Like what
run
you guys
wise,
like what you guys run at Central Arkansas, like offensive line scheme. Everybody has different blocking schemes and all that stuff.
we ran a lot of, counter. I feel like that was our best play. Counter. We'd run a lot of inside zone, outside zone. That was really like the basis. Pass protection wise, it was a lot of either. It just depended on. So we had two quarterbacks this year. It just depended on what quarterback was back there. We would either go big on big, just let the guys block, let the center help out, which like he feel like he need to help out, or we'll go full slide pro. And I feel like that was one of our better protections this year. But you know,
Absolutely.
I like the one-on-one block.
101, you can't go wrong with that. But
Yeah.
so outside of football, who are you as a person?
As a person, I'm fun to be around. I really just be chilling. I don't like to party. I don't do all the extracurricular things. That takes away from what your main goal is. And so really I've had the same set of friends since I moved down here to high school. And so we really just be playing the game. And so when I play the game, I'm usually playing Madden or NCAA. So I'm
Oh,
just, I'm
yeah.
just, that's what I'll be. If I'm not watching football, I'm playing football in real life or I'm playing it on a game. And so that's
Oh,
just who I am. I just like to chill at the house. I'll get out the house, some days and just go bowl or just go out to eat with friends. But, you know, really just with playing football and being a student athlete, there really was not much time for that. You got to take care of your body and just being able to be at the house, might get some recovery and play the game. Because sometimes the game can help you, depending on what scheme a team runs. It can help you give you a look to like see, okay, they ran that. Let's see if it works.
absolutely, man. It seems like you're like that kind of fun guy. I like bowling too myself, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Madden and NCAA, you can't go wrong with it. But let's do some rapid fire, man. Since you already brought up Madden and NCAA, which one do you like the best?
I'd have to go with NCAA. Growing up, I really wasn't. I didn't get that prime Mike Vick Madden era. I wasn't. That wasn't my era. When I was growing up, NCAA was coming out, and so as a kid, when it went away, and they started making the new gen consoles, I was like, hold on, mom and dad, don't give away my PS4 to or my PS3 to GameStop. I'm gonna keep that and I'm gonna just keep playing NCAA, the road to the Heisman and all that other good stuff. So I used to love playing it. And now since it came back out, me and my friends have created a league and it's just fun just being able to see like, okay, we got the guys in the leagues that suck, and then we got the guys in the league that every time you play them, it's gonna be a challenge and it's always good fun.
Can't go wrong with it. But it has to be cool to be on the video game, right or no?
Um, you know, they didn't put FCS teams in there, but
Oh,
just being able to see some of my friends from high school or guys that I've met like through UC that transferred out, or just guys from over the years from growing up with them, just seeing them on the game, it was just crazy.
yeah, it's got to be crazy. So another rapid fire. Let's go with Walmart or Target. Where are you going?
I'm gonna have to go with Target, and it's probably for one of the bougiest reasons out there, and it has nothing to do with you know the stuff that they have in stores. It has everything to do with the carts that they have.
Okay, that's fair.
Target has premium carts. Walmart, you might get a cart where the front two wheels looking at opposite ways, and you got to fight to keep it straight.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
part of the state of Arkansas.
Yeah,
uh,
that's fine. They're gonna have to hate me for that one.
nah, but in all seriously, okay. So McDonald's or Burger King, which one you stopping at?
I'm gonna have to go with McDonald's.
Okay, and then there's another one that will go with it, man. Before we end this one, so let's see. Do you watch wrestling or no?
WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a big fan growing up.
Okay, so in this era, who do you like better, John Cena or Randy Orton?
I ain't gonna lie. I've always been a John Cena fan. Growing up, just seeing him. I remember my parents used to come in every Christmas. They'd be like, "What you want for Christmas?" And I'd be like, "I want the John Cena. I want the John Cena spinner belt. I want the ring with John Cena's face in it." So I was always a John Cena fan. So I'm gonna have to go with John Cena. But now that
Damn.
he's retired,
Yeah.
Randy Orton has been on a nice little tear since he came back. So I've always been a John Cena fan, but I'm gonna have to get them. I'm gonna have to say both of them for right now.
Can't go wrong with either one. They're both Hall of
Yeah,
Famers, but like in that era, they were good to watch. But
yeah,
yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, man. Definitely appreciate your time, bro. Whatever
yeah,
happens in this journey, bro, it's got to be worth the process, man. At the
yeah.
end of the day, bro, just take advantage of what opportunities present itself.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, any-
I gotta say something though, because I see you got the Niners flag up. I am a Seattle Seahawks fan, and we
Damn.
had to do your Niners bad last
Oh,
week.
so wait, so that's your favorite team is Seattle?
Yeah, I'm a Seahawks fan.
Well, let me put it this way, man. Regardless of what happens, man, if you go to Seattle, take advantage of the opportunity, bro. That's
Yes,
all I
sir.
can say.
Yeah.
So, man, dude, that's crazy. So I was gonna say I forgot to say what your favorite team is, but you already put Seattle in that conversation, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good, bro. That's all love, bro. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, bro. I want you to succeed. I want you to go wherever you want to go, bro. Whatever team presents its opportunity, bro, you just got to run with it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. And for everybody else, man, tell everybody who you are again, and then we'll end from here.
My name is Will Diggins. Thank you for having me on this interview today. And my goal is to have a nice long career in the NFL, and that's what I plan on doing. Thank you again.
Oh, yeah. And for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in.